In the aftermath of the Trojan War, the divine pantheon of Olympus faces a new, unparalleled threat. The walls of Tartarus are cracking, and the ancient Titans, led by the vengeful Cronos, prepare to reclaim their dominion over the cosmos. As fissures of mistrust form among the gods, Zeus must rally Olympus and the mortal heroes who carry their bloodline. The prophecy of Delphi warns of a reckoning that will blur the lines between gods and men, where alliances will be tested, and the survival of Olympus depends on the courage of a young warrior, Perseus. Armed with a weapon forged in the fires of Hephaestus, Perseus embarks on a perilous journey to confront the wrath of primordial chaos. Meanwhile, Typhon, the monstrous storm giant, awakens, heralding destruction on a scale unseen since the dawn of creation. As the Titans rise, heroes from legend and demigods from the mortal world must unite to defy fate and challenge the shadows, threatening to consume the heavens. The age of gods is waning, but the question remains: will they stand united or succumb to the fury of their ancestors? As the embers of the Trojan War smoldered, the gods of Olympus found themselves divided. Some had favored the Trojans, while others stood beside the Greeks. The war of men was over, but the scars left in its wake festered among the immortals. Zeus sat upon his throne, his eyes cast beyond the horizon, where new threats stirred in the dark corners of the cosmos. Hera's resentment lingered, her heart burdened by the betrayal of Paris and the subsequent downfall of her favored city. Athena, though victorious, found her pride wounded by the mortals who doubted her wisdom. Aphrodite basked in the triumph of love, but sensed the fragile balance that teetered on the edge of collapse. Meanwhile, far from Olympus, the Titan Prometheus gazed upon humanity with pity. His chains may have been broken by Hercules, but his vision of the future remained unchanged. He saw the coming of a new age, one where mortals would rise beyond the gods, wielding powers once thought divine. Prometheus's heart stirred with both hope and dread. In the depths of the underworld, Hades met with Nyx, goddess of night, in whispered counsel. "The age of gods wanes, brother," Hades murmured. "Even Olympus cannot stand forever." Zeus, aware of these mutterings, called a council of the gods. "The Trojan War has left fractures within our ranks. We must not allow our divisions to fester. The threads of fate grow thin, and I will not see Olympus fall to the shadows." Poseidon rose from his seat, his trident glinting with ocean spray. "And what of the mortals? Their arrogance grows. Shall we allow them to forget their place?" Zeus's gaze hardened. "Mortals are but echoes of our will. It is not they who threaten Olympus, but our own pride. We must stand as one or risk oblivion." Yet even as Zeus spoke, he knew that unity among the gods was as fleeting as the winds. The seeds of future conflict had already been sown. Deep within the forgotten realms of Tartarus, the primordial chaos stirred. The prison that held the Titans and the monstrous offspring of Gaia weakened. Cronos, bound in chains forged by the Cyclopes, listened to the echoes of Olympus and seethed with hatred. "Zeus," he hissed, his voice dripping with ancient malice, "you sit upon my throne, but the earth remembers the true king." Gaia, the Earth Mother, whispered to her imprisoned children, "The gods grow complacent. The hour of reckoning approaches." Cronos' eyes gleamed with new resolve. He called upon his brethren, the last of the Titans who remained loyal to his cause. In secret, they began to shape weapons forged from the bones of the underworld, weapons that could wound even the gods. Far above, Zeus's dreams grew restless. Visions of serpents coiling around Olympus plagued his sleep. He saw the sky darkened by the wings of primordial beasts and his own thunderbolts crumbling against their might. He confided in Themis, goddess of divine law and prophecy. "The Titans stir once more," he admitted. "I sense Cronos' hunger growing." Themis' gaze pierced through the veil of time. "The hour of battle draws near, but the outcome is not yet written. Look to the mortals, Zeus. They hold the key to the survival of Olympus." Zeus nodded, though uncertainty clouded his heart. The age-old cycle of rebellion and war loomed once more, and not even the king of the gods could halt its approach. In the heart of Delphi, the great oracle Pythia trembled as she descended into her trance. Smoke coiled around her, and her voice rose in a chorus of layered whispers. Mortals gathered in awe, but in Olympus, the gods grew still, for the words she spoke echoed beyond the mortal realm. The skies shall burn, and the seas shall rise. Blood will fall upon the land of men and gods alike. The eldest shall awaken, and Olympus shall tremble beneath their wrath. Zeus stood at the peak of Olympus, lightning crackling around his clenched fists. He watched the mortal world below as fires erupted in the forests of Arcadia. To him, these flames were no ordinary wildfires. They were signs heralding the return of forces long thought buried beneath Tartarus. Hera stood beside him, her arms crossed in cold defiance. "You should have destroyed the Titans when you had the chance," she said, her voice laced with reproach. "I will not repeat the mistakes of our father," Zeus replied, "but I will not let Olympus fall." From the farthest edges of the world, Hermes returned with news that chilled even Zeus's heart. Titans had been sighted near the edges of the river Styx, their forms half shrouded in shadows. Mortals whispered of giants and beasts, long thought to be the stuff of ancient tales. "A storm gathers," Athena warned in the council chambers. "We must act before Cronos finds his strength." "Let him rise," Ares growled. "I will cut him down myself." But Zeus knew the war would not be so easily won. As he gazed into the flames of Delphi's prophecy, he glimpsed a future uncertain, one where even his thunderbolts might fail. Beneath the blackened sky, the Titans gathered in the chasm of Tartarus. Cronos stood at their center, his hands bound in chains, but his will unbroken. He raised his gaze toward the surface, where faint glimmers of the mortal world flickered. "The time of the gods is ending," Cronos declared, his voice booming like the tremors of an earthquake. "For too long, we have languished in the shadows. But now, the gates of Tartarus weaken. Soon we shall ascend." Oceanus, the titan of the seas, emerged from the depths, his form stretching endlessly like the horizon. "Zeus cannot hold back the oceans. The earth will shake beneath the tide." Hyperion, his eyes burning like twin suns, nodded. "And the skies shall darken beneath my light." With a flick of his hand, Cronos shattered the chains that bound him, their fragments scattering like dust. One by one, the Titans broke free from their bonds, their strength returning with every step they took toward the mortal world. Far above, Hades' eyes narrowed as he felt the disturbance rippling through the underworld. "They rise," he murmured to Persephone, "and Olympus shall burn, unless we stand together." Zeus, sensing the breach, summoned his brothers Poseidon and Hades to the great hall of Olympus. "The Titans will not rest until they reclaim the heavens," Zeus warned. "We must prepare for war." But even as Zeus spoke, the gates of Tartarus cracked, and the first Titans stepped into the light of the world once more. High atop Mount Etna, Hephaestus, the god of fire and forge, toiled endlessly at his anvil. Sparks danced around him as he hammered molten bronze into weapons of divine craftsmanship. At Zeus's request, he was forging arms for the coming war arms that could match the strength of Titans. "The fire must burn hotter," Hephaestus grunted, wiping sweat from his brow. "If the Titans rise, no ordinary blade will stop them." Athena descended into the forge, her eyes gleaming with determination. "We need more than weapons," she said. "We need strategy." Hephaestus nodded but said nothing. His hammer rang out, filling the cavern with echoes. As the blade cooled in the water, he whispered, "This sword shall be wielded by a hero of men, one who will stand between Olympus and the abyss." In the mortal realm, the winds of fate shifted. A young warrior named Perseus, a son of Zeus, trained under Chiron the centaur. Unbeknownst to him, his destiny was intertwined with the war of gods and titans. The sword of Hephaestus awaited him, though his journey to claim it would be perilous. Meanwhile, Cronos gathered his forces. Giants and ancient beasts rallied to his call. The skies darkened over Olympus as the first battles erupted along the edges of the heavens. Zeus stood at the forefront, his thunderbolts lighting the sky like stars falling from the firmament. "Olympus shall not fall," he declared. "Let the Titans come." And so the war of gods and Titans began anew. The clouds above Olympus churned, thick and ominous, as the skies echoed with the distant growls of thunder. Zeus stood upon his marble throne, his eyes narrowing as he surveyed the heavens. The winds carried whispers of war, and with each passing day, the Titans inched closer to breaching the sacred realms. Poseidon arrived first, his trident glistening with seawater, leaving droplets that hissed as they met the marble floor. Hades followed, his dark robes billowing behind him, the shadows at his feet stretching unnaturally. "The gates of Tartarus have cracked further," Hades said without preamble. "More Titans will rise by the next lunar cycle. We cannot wait." Zeus's grip on his lightning bolt tightened. "We will not wait. The armies of Olympus must gather. Athena will lead the vanguard, and Hermes will rally the mortals. The Titans will know our might." In the distance, the rumble of the earth signaled the awakening of Typhon, the monstrous storm giant slumbering beneath the land. His time was near. Even Zeus felt the weight of that dark prophecy. "What of the mortals?" Poseidon asked, his deep voice vibrating like crashing waves. "They are not ready for this war." Zeus looked toward the horizon, where fires flickered in the distance. "They will have to be. For this time, gods and men must stand together." Perseus knelt beside the flowing river, the reflection of the stars shimmering across the water's surface. Chiron watched from afar, his ancient eyes knowing what fate had woven for the young demigod. "You have felt it, haven't you?" Chiron said, stepping forward. "The unease in the wind, the call of Olympus." Perseus looked up, his dark hair falling across his brow. "Yes, something stirs in the distance. My dreams are filled with shadows and fire." The centaur placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "That is because war approaches. The Titans rise once more, and you have a role to play. Come with me." They journeyed into the heart of the forest, where hidden beneath an ancient oak lay the entrance to Hephaestus's forge. The flames inside roared to life as they approached, as if recognizing the blood of Zeus flowing through Perseus's veins. "Step forward, son of Zeus." Hephaestus's voice boomed. "The sword I have forged awaits you. With this blade, the fate of Olympus may yet be shaped." Perseus hesitated for only a moment before reaching for the hilt. As his fingers curled around the weapon, the blade ignited with divine light, casting long shadows against the forge walls. His journey had begun. Far beneath the mortal realm, Hades stood at the edge of the underworld's deepest pit. The gate to Tartarus loomed before him, black chains rattling as if pulled by unseen hands. "It weakens," Persephone said, her soft voice laced with concern. "Cronos is close to breaching the surface." Hades' eyes glowed faintly in the dim light. "Let him try. We will meet him with fire and iron." But even as he spoke, the gate shuddered. A crack spread across its surface, and from within, the glowing eyes of Hyperion, the Titan of light, peered through. "Olympus has grown complacent," Hyperion sneered. "And the underworld cannot hold us forever. Soon, the skies will belong to the Titans once more." Hades turned away from the gate. "Let Zeus know that Tartarus is failing. The time of reckoning is upon us." The shadows deepened as Persephone's hand tightened around Hades. Together they stared into the abyss, awaiting the battle that would shape the fate of the gods. On Mount Olympus, the gods assembled in the grand hall, marble columns rising high above, as Zeus stood at the head of the gathering. Athena, Ares, Hermes, and Apollo took their places, their expressions grave. "The Titans are stirring beneath us," Zeus began, his voice echoing throughout the chamber. "The walls of Tartarus falter, and Typhon stirs beneath the mountain. We must act before it is too late." Athena stepped forward, her armor gleaming in the dim light. "We cannot wait for the Titans to strike first. Let us take the fight to them." Ares grinned, gripping the hilt of his sword. "At last, war calls. I have waited too long for this day." But Hera's voice rose above the murmurs. "And what of the mortals? They will suffer the most in this war. Can we not find another way?" Zeus met her gaze, the weight of centuries reflected in his eyes. "There is no other way. The The Titans seek to reclaim the world. We must stand united or risk losing everything. Deep within the earth, Typhon stirred. His massive form shifted beneath the crust, molten veins pulsing with ancient power. As the cracks in Tartarus grew, so did his strength. With a roar that shook the heavens, Typhon's eyes snapped open, blazing like twin suns. His chains melted away, and the great beast rose, his serpentine form coiling around the mountains. On Olympus, the ground trembled. Zeus stood at the edge of the clouds, lightning dancing in his grasp. "He comes," Zeus whispered. "Prepare for war." Beneath the ocean depths, Poseidon felt the tremors echo through the water. Schools of fish darted away in fear, and ancient sea creatures retreated into the blackness. He surfaced swiftly, his eyes locking onto the distant silhouette of Olympus. "The earth quakes and the seas churn. Typhon has awakened," Poseidon growled. Waves lashed at the shore as he stepped onto land, striding toward Olympus. At the same time, Hermes raced across the mortal realm, delivering Zeus' call to arms to demigods and heroes alike. Among them was Theseus, standing at the edge of a battlefield, his sword gleaming beneath the moonlight. "Olympus needs you," Hermes said, his winged sandals barely touching the ground. "The Titans rise, and the world will burn unless we stand together." Theseus nodded. "I will answer the call." Across the land, the forgotten heroes stirred. Warriors long believed to be legends rose from their hidden sanctuaries, ready to defend the gods who once shaped their destinies.